it's Wong here. I just hosted a course this weekend at Hands-On Therapy Services, and it was nothing short of an amazing course. We had tons of people who came out like ready to learn, hungry to learn, and it's interesting because it came with a lot of people at different levels of experience and different levels of skills, and it was very interesting to hear both sides of it. So as I kind of watch the room, scan the room, and sort of listen in to some of the conversations and stuff like that, I find it really interesting, and I wanted to kind of like point something out. So sometimes the people who take courses, and especially like I want to say like big face-to-face live learning, there's just so much stuff. I mean, it just like blows your brain. It's 2 days, hours upon hours. It's intense. It's not the same as when you're taking an online course, right? So there's a real big difference because not all courses are created the same. So anyway, outside of that, you've got like the newer people who don't have as much experience or don't have as much quote unquote skills, and they go and it's like, oh my god, I'm so overwhelmed. I have so much to learn, like I know nothing. Like, oh my god, the overwhelm is powerful, because I guess it seems like you just can't catch up fast enough, right? And then you've got the people with the skills who've been practicing for a long time. Their mind is blown. And that is, that's a great course, Everyone's got something to learn when you go and take a live course, and like are truly interested in a topic, right? So the people who've been doing it for a while, their mind's blown. They're like, oh my god, why haven't I done this before? Why didn't I do this before? Why wasn't I thinking of like this? Why, so I think we all generally tend to kind of beat ourselves up a little bit and not give ourselves enough credit. And I just want to be here as someone who sort of observes that. Listen, I beat my shit up all the time. Like, I'm like, oh my god, why didn't you think of this and why didn't you think of that? And you're always harder on yourself than you are on other people, hands down, all the time. And that's fine. I don't think there's anything wrong with it because it drives you to do more. Now, in saying that, sometimes we need people to remind us that what we're doing is great, right? So I'm here to remind you that when you, no matter what spectrum you're on, I'm here to remind you that you did great. You know why? You did great because you wanted to keep learning. You did great because even if you have been practicing for 10, 20, 30 years, there's always something new to learn. The course that I had here at Hands-On Therapy Service this weekend is a Kinesio Taping 1 and 2, and I took this course many years ago. I think I want to say I've been taping for a good. I've been practicing for 20 years, so I think I've been taping for about 10. And I took the course in certification. I took all three, like many years ago. I want to say about like 12 years ago, something like around there. And when I first started coming out, first becoming popular, it was something that was introduced to me, and I really enjoyed it, and I decided to go ahead and take the whole series of courses. But so it's still so interesting to me, and I still learn so much, even though I was in the course before. Someone else is teaching it. It's coming from a different perspective, with so many pearls and so much wisdom and stuff like that from the instructor. But what I wanted to do is remind you that whether you're somebody who has a lot of experience or someone who doesn't have a lot of experience. I know that there's people with lots of years of experience, but now wanting to get into hand therapy. It's a whole different realm. It's a whole different set of skills. And then you've got therapists coming out new, only with a little bit of experience, that they're really interested in hand therapy. And I've got people who are trying to get into occupational therapy. They're the budding part of their career, they're interested in hand therapy. And I think that no matter what realm or what spectrum you're on that journey, that you should, instead of thinking it's so much that you're never going to learn it all, or that why don't you have the skills already, or beat yourself up because you have a lot of experience, you have a ton of skills, and you just don't have this one, and you're learning still. Congratulate yourself for I think having the courage to do something new, having the desire to continue learning, and actually doing something about it. There's a real big difference. A lot of people talk, and a lot of people want stuff, but it's you that you're actually doing something about it. And you should give yourself a little pat in the back. My mom always said, if you're not giving yourself in the pat, if you're not giving yourself in the pat in the back, then who's going to do it? So it's always good to remember, and I try to do this myself, is that even when I am a little bit hard on myself, I take a step back and say, you know what? In actuality, what's a good point about this? What's really good about what I did, or what's really good about my thinking, that kind of stuff. And give yourself a pat in the back for one, continuing to learn. That takes a lot of courage and a lot of humbleness, I really think, is that when you aren't the I know it all type, and that there's still something to learn. There's so much curiosity. So I have written on my board, let me see if I can show you, and such a key point. And I write this and I remind myself about this quite a bit. It's a journey, not a destination. So as we are striving toward becoming occupational therapists and becoming certified hand therapists, that we have to remember that the whole thing is a journey, and it's not just about getting your CHT, and it's not just about getting a job. It's about wanting a career and wanting fulfillment. And honestly, we're occupational therapists because we want to help people, but it's a journey. You gotta keep at it. You gotta keep doing it, and every once in a while, you gotta give yourself a little pat on the back for doing a great job. All right. Thanks for listening, and I will talk to you soon.